My name is Dr. Nikunj Patel, Assistant Professor in Department of Biochemistry, Government Medical College, Surat. On today's lecture, we have discussed about the biological oxidation, electron transport chain, and oxidative phosphorylation. Objective of the lecture are introduction and significance of electron transport chain, component and their organization, means which are the component are the involved in electron transport chain and how they are the arranged in cell. Source of the electron for the electron transport chain, coupling reaction between the electron transport and oxidative phosphorylation, chemiosmotic theory for oxidative phosphorylation, and at the last, inhibitor of the electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. Introduction. Electron transport chain is a component of mitochondrial protein involved in transport of the electron from reducing equivalent to oxygen for production of energy. Here, complex 1,2 for generate the proton gradient across the inner mitochondrial membrane, and complex 5 that use that gradient for the ATP synthesis. Significance. The major foodstuff in the diet, whenever it is oxidized, it releases the energy, and that energy are the captured in the form of the reducing equivalent like NADH and FADH. Whatever energy are the captured by NADH and FADH2, now it is a release or used for the ATP synthesis in mitochondria. In the mitochondria, the NADH and FADH, it release their energy in the form of the electron to the electron transport chain. In the electron transport chain, electrons are the moves to the oxygen. During that movement, it generates the proton gradient, and the proton gradient are the utilized by the complex of the oxidative phosphorylation for the ATP synthesis. That is the basis of the electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. Component of the electron transport chain. Mainly 4 component or 4 complex are they involved in the electron transport chain. They are known as a 4 enzyme complex. They are embedded in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, and complex 4. They are the fixed complex enzyme in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Remember, they are not a mobile complex. Complex 1, it is known as a NADH coenzyme Q oxidoreductase. Complex 2, it is a succinate coenzyme Q oxidoreductase. Complex 3, it is a coenzyme Q cytochrome C oxidoreductase. And complex 4, it is known as a cytochrome oxidase. Along with that 4 fixed complex in the inner mitochondrial membrane, 2 mobile carrier are also present. They are the coenzyme Q and cytochrome C. They are known as a complex of the electron transport chain. Along with that, one more complex, it is also present in the inner mitochondrial membrane. They are the also fixed type of enzyme complex. It is known as the ATP synthase complex. It is part of the oxidative phosphorylation. So overall component of the electron transport chain, it is a 4 fixed complex of protein, that is complex 1 to 4, and 2 mobile carrier for the electron transport chain, and 1 fixed complex for the oxidative phosphorylation, it is a ATP synthase complex. That is a basic structure of the mitochondria. It have a 2 membrane, outer membrane and inner membrane. Between the 2 membrane there is a space, it is known as a intermembrane space, and in the core part of the mitochondria, that is known as a matrix part of the mitochondria. That all the ETC complex are present in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Remember. So location of the electron transport chain, it is a inner mitochondrial membrane. It is complex 1, complex 3, complex 4, along with the 2 mobile carrier, coenzyme Q, cytochrome C, and that is a complex 5 of the oxidative phosphorylase. Now, what is a complex 1? What is the function of the complex 1? What is the basic structure of the complex 1? We have discussed. Complex 1, it is also known as the NADH dehydrogenase complex or NADH coenzyme Q oxidoreductase. That complex also contains some flavoprotein like aphamen and iron sulfur. Complex 1 contains the different protein like flavoprotein, aphamen and iron sulfur complex. Iron sulfur complex protein are the complex in which iron it is coordinated by histidine residue. The role of that different protein in the complex 1, it is transfer the electron from reducing equivalent to the mobile carrier. They are ultimately carrier molecule in complex 1. They carry means accept the electron from the reducing equivalent and donor to the next step. So overall reaction catalyzed by the complex 1, it is transfer of the electron from NADH to the flavoprotein aphamen to iron sulfur complex and finally to the mobile carrier coenzyme Q. When electron it is a pass from NADH to coenzyme Q, it lost its some of the energy, and that energy it is ultimately used by that complex 1 to transfer the 4 proton from matrix part of mitochondria to intermembrane space. Means it helps in generate the proton gradient across the inner mitochondrial. How the protein had the transfer? It is transferred by the energy that is lost by the electron when transferred from NADH to coenzyme Q. When electron it is passed to the next step, it lost its some of the energy, and then energy it is ultimately used by that complex to force the proton from matrix to the intermembrane space. So just remember, in the complex 1, electron it is the transfer from reducing equivalent NADH to flavoprotein through iron sulfur complex to finally mobile carrier coenzyme. So NADH it is oxidized along with that mobile carrier coenzyme Q, it is reduced to the quinol. During that, whatever energy it is released, it is a help in transfer of the 4 proton from matrix part of the mitochondria to intermembrane space. That is the role of complex. Complex 2 of electron transport chain, it is more or less same like the complex 1. It is also known as a succinate dehydrogenase complex. Same like the complex one, it is also contain the different protein like FID containing flavoprotein and iron sulfur complex, in which flow of the electron it is like succinate to flavoprotein to iron sulfur complex and finally to coenzyme. So remember here two different pathway, complex 1 and complex 2. Complex 1 it is a receive the electron from NADH. Complex 2 it is receive the electron from the FADH. Both are ultimately donate their electron to the coenzyme. So electron from complex 1 to complex 3 means coenzyme Q, and in case of the electron from FADH2 it is also transferred to the coenzyme. It is not only succinate that gives the FADH2, other molecule, other metabolic pathway also produce the FADH2 that finally gives their electron by complex 2 in electron transport. So other metabolic pathway that catalyzed by the enzyme like acyl coenzyme A dehydrogenase, glycerol 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, okay, all the pathway that produce the FADH2, their FADH2 that donate their electron with the help of complex 2. Remember, unlike the complex 1, the energy released during the electron transport through complex 2, it is very less. So in that case, no proton are the transfer from matrix to the intermembrane space. There is very less energy are the release. So it does not sufficient to transfer the proton from matrix to the intermembrane space. So in case of the complex 2, there is no proton gradient in intermembrane space. So that is a summary of the complex 2. Electron from the succinate, it is transferred to the flavoprotein through iron sulfur complex to the mobile K. So itself it is oxidized and coenzyme Q it is reduced to the coenzyme. There is no release of the sufficient energy to transfer the proton from matrix to the intermembrane space. First mobile carrier it is a coenzyme Q. It is located after complex 1 and complex 2 for receiving the electron either from the complex 1 or complex 2. It is hydrophobic in nature and small in size, so it is easily placed in the membrane of mitochondria, inner membrane of mitochondria. It is a freely mobile carrier. Remember, it is not a fixed protein. It accepts the electron from either complex 1 or complex 2 and donate or release their electron to the complex 3. When it accepts the electron and hydrogen, it is reduced to the quinol. That is intermediate form of the coenzyme Q. It is known as a samiquinol. When it receives the only one electron, it is known as a samiquinol. It is a fully oxidized form. It is known as a quinol. So quinol it is a fully oxidized form. Quinol it is a fully reduced form, and semiquinol it is a partially reduced form. Now complex 3, cytochrome reductase. Cytochrome reductase, same like the complex 1 and complex 2, it also contains the different protein like cytochrome B, cytochrome C1 and iron sulfur complex. Remember that cytochrome B and cytochrome C1 it is a hemoprotein, means that contain the heme as a prosthetic protein. And iron sulfur complex are the present in the complex 3. It is slightly different than complex 1 and complex 2. The iron sulfur complex present in the complex 3 it is known as a Alexander. Unlike the complex 1 and complex 2, iron sulfur complex present in the cytochrome reductase in which iron atom it is coordinated to the histidine residue rather than cysteine residue. In the normally in complex 1 and complex 2 iron atom it is coordinated to the cysteine residue, but in case of the complex 3 what happened, the iron it is coordinated with the histidine residue rather than cysteine residue, so it is slightly different answer. So you have to remember is complex. What is the component of the cytochrome reductase? That cytochrome B and cytochrome C1. They are the hemoprotein and iron sulfur complex. It is fixed. When electron it is passes through the complex 3, it releases sufficient energy to transfer the 4 proton from matrix to the intermembrane space. So when quinol it is oxidized, it releases the electron, it is transferred by the iron sulfur complex fixator, cytochrome B, and finally to cytochrome C1 to the mobile carrier, second mobile carrier, it is a cytochrome C. It receives the electron and itself it is a reduced to the reduced form of the cytochrome C. And when electron it is passes through the complex 3, it releases the energy, and energy it is used for the transfer of the 4 proton from matrix part of mitochondria to the intermembrane space. Finally, complex 4, that cytochrome C that receive the electron from complex 3, it now transfer that electron to the complex 4. Complex 4, it have also some protein. They are the heme A and heme A3, along with that copper A and copper B. Remember, in case of the cytochrome oxidase, there is no iron sulfur complex. In cytochrome oxidase, there is copper A and copper B, along with heme A and heme A3 at the place. They are the ultimately carrier of the electron in cytochrome oxidase. They accept the electron from cytochrome C and finally release the electron to the oxygen, and oxygen that accept the electron from complex 4 along with the hydrogen and reduce to the water. Whatever energy it is released when electron are the passes through cytochrome oxidase, it is transferred the 2 proton from matrix part to the intermembrane space. So electron from reduced part of the cytochrome C to the cytochrome oxidase and finally to the oxygen to reduce to H2. And that is a component part of the cytochrome oxidase, cytochrome A, cytochrome A3 and copper A and copper B. 2 proton it is released into the intermembrane space. So remember, when electron passes through the complex 1, it transfers the 4 proton. When it is passes through the complex 3, it transfers the again more 4 proton. And it is passing through the complex 4, it releases the 2 proton. But when electron is passes through the complex 2, it does not release or does not transfer the any proton. So when electron are entered through the NADH pathway, means via complex 1 to complex 3 and complex 4, it transferred the total 10 proton, 4 from complex 1, 4 from complex 3 and 2 from complex 4. So total 10 proton are the transfer from matrix to the intermembrane space. When electron are the enter into the electron transport chain by FADH2 or complex 2 pathway, in which only 6 protons are the transferred from matrix to the intermembrane space. 0 from the complex 2, 4 from the complex 3 and 2 from the complex 4. So in compared to the NADH, FADH2 are the transfer the less proton from matrix to the intermembrane space. That suggests the less amount of the energy are the produced from FADH2 compared to the NADH. Next part, it is a source of the electron for the electron transport chain. Overall, two reducing equivalent that are the main source of the electron NADH and FADH. It may generate in the mitochondria, it may generate in the cytosol. The two reducing equivalent NADH and FADH are the produced in various metabolic pathway of oxidation of the major foodstuff of lipid, protein and carbohydrate. Some pathway are the occur in the mitochondria, some pathway are the occur in the cytosol, like glycolysis occur in the cytosol. Mitochondrial pathway are the mainly fatty acid oxidation and TCA cycle, Krebs cycle. NADH are the produced in the mitochondrial pathway by various enzymes like pyruvate dehydrogenase, alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, isocitrate dehydrogenase, malate dehydrogenase, and hydroxyacyl coenzyme A dehydrogenase. And FADH2 are the produced by succinate dehydrogenase, glycerol 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, fatty acyl coenzyme dehydrogenase. That all enzymes are the produce the NADH and FADH2 in mitochondrial matrix itself. But some pathway also produce the NADH in cytosol, like glycolysis. So in that case, cell require the specific transport mechanism for transfer of their NADH from cytoplasm to the mitochondria. Because our inner mitochondrial membrane, it is impermeable to the NADH itself. So body require means cell require the subtle mechanism or some type of the transport mechanism for transfer of that NADH to the matrix. Mainly two type of the subtle or transport mechanism are available, malate aspartate and second one is glycerol phosphate subtle. Remember, in the malate aspartate subtle pathway, one NADH in the cytoplasm are produce the one NADH molecule in the mitochondria. Means compared to the one NADH in the cytoplasm, it releases the one NADH molecule in the mitochondria by malate aspartate subtle pathway. In case of the glycerol phosphate subtle pathway, what happened? One NADH in the cytoplasm I produce the one FADH2 molecule in the mitochondria. Remember, in case of the malate aspartate subtle pathway, one NADH produce the one NADH in the mitochondria, but in case of the glycerol phosphate subtle pathway, what happened? One NADH in the cytoplasm, it is produced the one FADH2 molecule in the mitochondria. So when body or cell utilize the glycerol phosphate subtle pathway, it produce or the less amount of the ATP, because we have already discussed that NADH are produce the 10 proton, release the 10 proton from matrix to the intermembrane space. FADH only 6 proton are the release. So proton gradient whatever generated by NADH have a more compared to the FADH2. So if body use the malate subtle pathway, it is produce the more energy compared to the glycerol subtle pathway. So that is the overview of the electron transport chain. Whatever energy it is released by oxidation of the foodstuff either in the cytoplasm or in mitochondria, it is captured by either NAD or FAD in the form of NADH or FADH2. That reducing equivalent are the oxidized in the mitochondria in electron transport chain that release that electron to the complex of the electron transport chain. That electron are the passes from component of the electron transport chain and release the sum of the energy when it is a transfer. That energy are the utilized to transfer the proton from matrix part of mitochondria to the intermembrane space. Means it generates the sum of the proton gradient. So more amount of the proton are now available in intermembrane space compared to the matrix. So here some of the proton gradient are generated across the inner mitochondrial membrane when electron it is passes through the electron transport chain. And the proton gradient whatever generated when electron are passes through the electron transport chain, it is utilized by the another complex that is known as ATP synthase complex to synthesize the high energy compound ATP that is known as oxidative phosphorylase. So remember here what happened, whatever energy are present in the reducing equivalent, it is transferred to the electron transport chain in the form of electron that is known as electron motive force. When electron it is transferred to the electron transport chain, it releases the energy. That energy it is used to transfer the proton from matrix to the intermembrane space. Means that electron motive force it is converted into the proton motive force. And finally that proton motive force are utilized by the complex 5 or ATP synthase to synthesize the high energy compound ATP. It is known as a phosphoryl transfer potential. Means electron motive force it is converted into the proton motive force, and the proton motive force it is finally converted into the phosphoryl transfer potential. Means for the oxidative phosphorylase. That is known as a proton motive force or chemiosmotic theory. It is known as a oxidative phosphorylation theory. Means when electron it is transferred through the electron transport chain, it generates the proton gradient. The proton gradient are utilized by the another complex to synthesize the high energy compound in the mitochondrial matrix. It is known as oxidative phosphorylation. Means two reactions, electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. Both are occur simultaneously, and they are tightly coupled reactions. Now, what is the oxidative phosphorylase and component of the oxidative phosphorylase? We have already discussed that the complex 5 or ATP synthase it is a part of the oxidative phosphorylase. That is a main component of the oxidative phosphorylase. ATP synthase have mainly two complex. One complex it is a F0 complex, and second complex it is a F1 complex. F0 complex it is embedded in the inner mitochondrial membrane, and F1 complex it is projected inside the matrix part of mitochondria. F0 or ideally it is known as a FO complex. O it is stand for the oligomycin. That complex is specifically inhibited by the oligomycin drug. That's why it is known as a FO complex. It is a hydrophobic. It is a hydrophobic in the nature. It spans the inner mitochondrial membrane, and it is ultimately channel for the proton. Whatever the proton are present in the intermembrane space by proton gradient, it is a transfer back to the matrix through this channel formed by the FO complex. That is a proton channel. It is a hydrophobic in nature. Second one, it is a F1 complex. matrix that is projected inside the matrix part of the mitochondria. It is a hydrophilic in nature. It's a wrong hydrophilic in the nature. Projected in the matrix, it is mainly made up of the 9 subunit, 3 alpha and 3 beta, along with that 1 gamma, 1 epsilon and 1 delta subunit. So total 9 subunits are present in the F1. F1 complex, it is attached to the FO complex to the gamma subunit. Along with that second beta subunit. Mainly it is attached by the gamma subunit. Remember that is known as a molecular motor of body. ATP synthase also known as the rotor stator motor or molecular motor of the cell, in which mainly two type of the subunit. One, it is a rotating, and second, it is a fixed or stationary subunit. Rotating subunit are the FO complex and gamma subunit of F1 complex. Stationary subunit are the F1 complex other than gamma subunit. Means that part of the FO and gamma are the rotational part of the molecular motor, and that is the remaining part of the F1, including 3 alpha, 3 beta, 1 delta and 1 epsilon, are fixed component of the molecular motor. Means when proton passes through that channel, it leads to the rotation of that rotatory complex of molecular motor, that leads to the rotation of the gamma subunit, but does not rotation of the alpha and beta subunit. Remember. So when gamma subunit are rotated, it leads to the sum of the conformational change in that protein part of alpha and beta, and that is ultimately help in synthesis of ATP by joining the ADP and phosphate. That catalytic activity of synthesis of the ATP from ADP and phosphate are mainly present in the beta subunit. Remember, only beta subunit have a catalytic activity. Alpha subunit, it is a structural role in the molecular motor that stabilize the shape of the beta subunit. So when proton passes through the FO segment, it rotates the FO segment along with the gamma subunit of the F1 subunit or F1 complex, that leads to the conformational change in the alpha as well as beta subunit, and that is help in a synthesis of the high energy compound. So whatever proton gradient are generated here with the help of the electron transport chain, it is here utilized for the synthesis of the high energy compound ATP. The actual mechanism of the ATP synthesis by beta subunit are known as a binding chain mechanism theory. Molecular motor have a 3 beta subunit are present. All 3 have a catalytic activity, but remember, all 3 does not synthesize the ATP at a time. Only one ATP molecule are synthesized at a time. Another 2 subunits are present in the different form. So overall, the 3 beta subunits are present in the 3 different form at a time. One are present in the loose form, one are present in the tight form, and third one it is present in the open form. After some time, when gamma subunit is further rotated, that one subunit it is converted into the tight form, second subunit converted into the open form, and third subunit it is converted into the loose form. What is the role of different form? The loose form. When beta subunit are present in the loose form, in that form ADP and phosphate that present in the matrix part of the mitochondria are attached to the beta subunit. Remember, here it is only attached, not the synthesized to the ATP. Here in the loose form, only ADP and phosphate are attached to the beta subunit. When it is loose form converted into the tight form, it actually catalyzes the ATP synthesis. And when tight form, it is converted into the open form, then whatever ATP it is synthesized in the tight form, it is a release during the open. So in the loose form, only ADP and phosphate are attached. In the second form, tight form, actual catalysis occur, and in the open form, release of the ATP at the occur. That is the actual schematic representation of the ATP synthesis by different beta subunit. At one time, okay, one subunit in the open form, one subunit in the tight form, and one subunit in the loose form. In the loose form, ADP and phosphate are the bind. In the tight form, actual catalysis are the occur, and in the open form, ATP it is a release. And that is a gamma subunit of F1. When proton at the passes through the FO complex, it is rotated along with the gamma subunit, and that gamma subunit that leads to the conformational change in a beta catalytic subunit of the F1 complex and lead to the actual ATP synthesis. That is known as a oxidative phosphorylation or chemiosmotic theory. PO ratio, we have already discussed that PO ratio means the number of the ATP are produced in the term of reducing equivalent are oxidase. We have already discussed that NADH, when release the electron through complex 1, 3 and 4, it transfers the total 10 proton from intermatrix to the intermembrane space compared to the FADH2. It is only 6 proton at the transfer from matrix to the intermembrane space. Every 4 proton are the equivalent to 1 ATP synthesis. So 2.5 ATP are the synthesized in case of the NADH, and only 1.5 ATP are the synthesized by FADH. Inhibitor of the electron transport chain. Various compounds that inhibit the complex of electron transport chain and ultimately stop or block the electron transport chain. The compound are act on either complex 1, 2, 3 or 4. Example of the compound that inhibit the complex 1 or block the complex 1 include mainly amobarbital, that is barbituric acid, rotenone and pyridine A. Compound that block the complex 2 are mainly malonate, it is an inhibitor of the succinate dehydrogenase, carboxyl and TTFA. Complex 3 inhibitor include antimycin A and British anti-leucine. Complex 4 include inhibitor are hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxide, cyanide and sodium azide. They are the more poisonous compound that block the complex 4 cytochrome oxidase and that leads to the death of the cell because respiration are the stop. Cellular respiration are the blockade. So you have to remember that all the examples of the inhibitor of electron transport chain. Complex 1 include barbiturate, rotenone and pyridine. Complex 2 include malonate and carboxyl. Complex 3 include antimycin A and British anti-leucine. Complex 4 include cyanide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide and azide, sodium azide. They are known as an inhibitor of electron transport. Now second, it is an inhibitor of oxidative phosphorylation or complex 5, in which oligomycin O, it stands for FO, means that drug are mainly block the FO complex of complex 5 ATP synthase. Second compound that block the oxidative phosphorylation are atractyloside that actually block the ATP-ADP translocase in the mitochondrial membrane. The translocase are present in the inner mitochondrial membrane for transfer of whatever ATP it is synthesized in the matrix to the outside the cell, outside the mitochondria. It is an atractyloside. Third compound, it is known as an uncoupler. Remember, it is not actually inhibitor of the electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. Uncoupler are the compound they known as that actually uncouple the electron transport chain from oxidative phosphorylation by disrupting the proton gradient. In the normal case, what happens? Whatever electron are transferred to the electron transport chain, then generate the proton gradient. The proton gradient are utilized by complex 5 to synthesize the high energy compound. But when uncoupler are present in the mitochondrial membrane in high amount, they disrupt their proton gradient. And now the proton gradient and does not utilized by complex 5 for the ATP synthesis. They include the various chemical compound as well as physiological compound. Physiological compound in the uncoupler are thermogenin, that is a protein present in the brown adipose tissue, thyroxine, it is a T4 hormone, unconjugated bilirubin, and long chain fatty acid. They are the normally physiological compound present in this cell and body, act as an uncoupler in the eye. Some chemical compound that is act as an uncoupler are 2,4-dinitrophenol, dinitrocresol, and high dose of the aspirin. The compound actually disrupting the proton gradient. Remember. Some drugs like valinomycin and gramicidin are also act as an uncoupler by incorporating into the inner mitochondrial membrane and produce the proton channel. So the channel ultimately disrupt the proton gradient. So proton gradient does not utilize by the complex 5 for the synthesis of the ATP. So at the end, that is a summary of the all electron transport chain, complex 1, 2, 3, 4 with 2 mobile carrier, coenzyme Q, cytochrome C, proton gradient are generated when electron are passes from complex of electron transport chain. The proton gradient are utilized by the complex 5, does not shown here, for the synthesis of the ATP. So it is all about the electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation.